For local and national news from home, this is News Circle 12's 6 o'clock edition with Kurt Crandall, meteorologist Tom Szymanski, and Harry Dyke on sports.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on News Circle 12. I'm Tom Schultz, sitting in for Kurt Crandall. The Claremont, Minnesota Chief of Police, 39-year-old Greg Lang, was shot and killed early today, investigating a disturbance in that town east of Owatonna. Authorities have captured 2 suspects in Missouri, and we have the story from Karen Wright.
This is the house where Police Chief Greg Lang was shot to death at 2:30 this morning after he responded to a domestic dispute call. Apparently, a struggle took place outside the house as the police chief attempted to settle the dispute when he was shot and killed.
Well, it sounded like firecrackers. We didn't get alarmed right away. We thought it was firecrackers. When we see the ambulance and the sheriff's cars, and we knew that somebody was laying there in the back, but we couldn't tell what.
The 2 suspects apparently fled in Lang's car to Blooming Prairie, where it was found abandoned. The suspects then stole a car from a nearby farmhouse and fled south, where they were apprehended late this morning near Cameron, Missouri.
We had been given the information that these 2 men were wanted for the killing of a police officer in Claremont, Minnesota. And as I was following them, I continued to observe them and felt fairly assured that they did not recognize me behind them.
Lang was the only full-time law enforcement officer in the city of 531 people and had only been acting as a police chief for 2 years, but he was well respected.
He was very good. Done his duty first, I know. I never heard he didn't do his duty. He always done his duty. And so I said, it's very shocking. I mean, I feel very bad about it. My suspicion now, his wife and his little boy are left all alone.
Authorities said the 2 suspects were apparently migrant workers from Texas. The suspects are being held in the Clinton County Jail in Missouri, while the city of Claremont mourns the loss of its police chief. Karen Wright, News Circle 12 in Claremont.
Many Duluth residents were surprised last night at the city's fireworks display, which went out of control and burned 20 minutes worth of fireworks in about 2 minutes. Authorities say the 4th of July fireworks display was set off on the ground after a charge went off in its tube instead of in the air. The resulting sparks set off the rest of the fireworks on the ground and sent workers and spectators fleeing the scene along the Lake Superior shoreline. A police spokesman says only 1 injury was reported, and that apparently was minor, but several small fires were set by the explosion, and firefighters were called in to quickly extinguish those small fires. A spokesman said the fires involved a pier and several structures, but there were no injuries involved in the fires. Police spokesman Kevin McKenna said a major explosion occurred about 10 o'clock, about 5 minutes after the fireworks show had started. Authorities and representatives of the fireworks company are continuing to investigate that potentially serious incident. And a fire this afternoon destroyed a barn on the Harland-Gettle farm near the Blue Earth-Waseca County line. Firefighters from Janesville, Eagle Lake, Pemberton, and St. Clair were called to the Gettle farm about 1:30 this afternoon after John Gettle spotted flames shooting out of the building. The barn on the Janesville Township farm was destroyed, but quick work by some men enabled dairy cows housed in the barn to escape. Luckily, no injuries were reported in that fire and no livestock was lost. Owner Harland Gettle and his wife were not at home, having just left today on a vacation. The Gettles have been hit with fire before, as the family earlier lost their home due to a fire. The Minnesota Farm Bureau Board of Directors is looking at potential federal and state drought aid. KEYC Farm Director Julie Miller talked with one Farm Bureau director today who farms near Nicollet.
Garfield Eckberg has been a Farm Bureau member for more than 25 years. During that quarter of a century, the dairy and hog farmer has seen Farm Bureau and farming change with the weather and the economy. Eckberg says he's pleased with the drought aid given to farmers through Secretary Ling's announcements over the past month, but he says the real help will be needed when harvest comes up short.
I would like to see it under the present program with the high cost of grain now. A lot of farmers don't have any grain to sell, so this doesn't do them much good. Possibly having some of this money that was ear tagged for this type of a program to be used for other drought assistance programs.
Ekberg says the crops must have rain this week or he will lose his corn needed for dairy silage and ground feed. He says such losses would be felt for years to come.
There's a lot of adjustments being made, particularly by the livestock producer. A lot of farmers that had feeder cattle, some of those have been sent to market. Many farms, including our own here now, we've been reluctant to buy back feeder pigs because not probably having the corn available. We plan to save all we can for the dairy herd and maintaining that herd.
Ekberg is more fortunate than some farmers. He says he still is feeding silage and corn left from last year. Meanwhile, the gravel spots in his cornfield are burning up. Julie Miller, News Circle 12 in New Sweden Township.
Filing for federal, state, and county offices opened up today around Minnesota. In Blue Earth County, 3 men have filed for the 5th District Commissioner seat being vacated by 40-year board member Les Anderson, who's decided not to seek an 11th term. The 3 candidates filing today for Anderson's post were Adler Olson, mayor of Eagle Lake, a retired Mankato businessman for the past 4 years. Also seeking the 5th District Blue Earth County board position is St. Clair area farmer Elvis Moore, who's lived in Blue Earth County all his life and has served on the county ASCS board and pork producers board. Jack Higgins of Mapleton also filed this morning. He's owner and operator of Higgins True Value Hardware in Mapleton and has served as president of the Mapleton Chamber of Commerce. 2 men have filed for the District 3 county board spot being vacated by Bud Carlson. They are Lynn Barnes, a Mankato property manager, and Al Schaller, who owns and operates Sharon's Craft and Floral in North Mankato. In Nicollet County, 5th District Commissioner William Schimmel of North Mankato filed for re-election today. And in the city of Mankato council race, a new candidate filed today for the 4th ward seat being vacated by council member Mary Lofi. Ken Bundy of 221 South Broad Street filed and announced his intentions to run today. This is Bundy's 2nd try at a Mankato City Council seat. Bundy and his wife, Margot, operate a beauty shop in Mankato. Well, coming up on News Circle 12, Democrats act friendly over the 4th of July and followers of controversial Bishop Lefebvre.
What a wild store.
Hey, look at this. It's a rowing machine with a built-in color TV.
Hey, check it out. Look at this.
Hey, it's a phone with a built-in calendar, a clock, a memo pad. Excuse me, sir.
Oh, it's ringing.
Pardon me. Pardon me. We'll be open until 7. You're welcome.
This is terrific. Hey, how much is this?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir, but this is not for sale.
Not for sale?
No, this is our own store telephone, sir.
You mean you won't sell it to me?
You can't buy it anywhere. Sir, if you'll just excuse me, I'll move it out of the way, like over here.
Oh, hey, look.
Oh, my.
It's a phone with everything you need when you're on the phone.
Ladies, I'm sorry, but this is not for sale. If I could just move it out of view.
Hey, you must sell a lot of these. How much?
It's free.
Oh, free? You're going to give it?
No, but I know someone who is.
Really? Who?
The people who gave it to me. Time magazine. Excuse me. Bye.
Time announces a very special thank you for subscribing gift. The Ultronic 4-in-1 Phone Center. It's got a high-tech push-button phone with automatic redial, a ringer shut-off, and even a mute button. Plus a calendar that never needs replacing, a digital clock, a memo pad, and a pen holder, too. All in one handsome, compact unit that's great for any desk at home or office. And with it, you'll enjoy Time's unique way of bringing you the world. Instead of just giving you part of the story, Time probes underneath and comes to grips with the real forces at work. Time spots trends and pays special attention to where it really all begins, with the personalities of the people who move the world. Call 1-800-284-0300 and enjoy 26 issues of Time at more than 40% off the cover price, payable in 3 monthly installments of just $9.89 each. And you'll get the Ultronic 4-in-1 Phone Center free with your paid subscription. It's a Time exclusive.
Hey, what's that?
Nothing.
Call 1-800-284-0300 now.
Jesse Jackson says he and Michael Dukakis talked about politics over a 4th of July dinner, but would not provide any details today. Jackson and his wife Jacqueline were entertained by the Dukakises in Brookline, Massachusetts yesterday, and we have a report from Bill Whitaker.
Fireworks lit up the sky over Boston last night, accompanied by John Williams and the Boston Pops. Michael and Kitty Dukakis and Jesse and Jackie Jackson joined the crowd of almost 300,000 for 4th of July festivities. Jackson is one of the men Dukakis is considering for vice president. But their meeting last night shed no new light on the Democratic ticket.
We discussed things very personal, very private, very political, but with a great concern about the kind of things that we must do together to have an effective and successful convention.
Earlier in the evening, the Jacksons went to the Dukakis home in Brookline for dinner. Jackson worked the crowd of Dukakis neighbors as if this were just another campaign stop. The less gregarious governor watched from curbside. After dinner, as they have after all their private meetings this campaign, the Democratic frontrunner and runner-up kept the content of their discussion to themselves.
Terrific. Too much. We're full. Talked about lots of things.
There have been reports that Dukakis has ruled Jackson out as a running mate, and others that Jackson doesn't really want the job. But last night, they would neither confirm nor deny these reports. Last night was the 4th of July, and the fireworks were not of the political kind. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, Boston.
The news last week of the break between the Catholic Church and traditional Archbishop Lefebvre is spreading across the United States. Pope John Paul II has said followers of the excommunicated bishop last week may themselves be excommunicated. Despite that warning, followers of Lefebvre in St. Mary's, Kansas are standing behind him.
Many parish members we talked to this morning grew up in a traditional Catholic church. One 86-year-old parish member says the traditional Mass here at St. Mary's is what he's comfortable with. He has met Archbishop Lefebvre 3 times and fully supports his movement.
There has been a change in the liturgy, but that isn't all. You understand the sacraments. Rather, you might say they're a watering down of marriage, you know, easy divorce and birth control and all that. That's all entering into it, you understand.
Another parishioner's brother is a priest who Lefebvre ordained.
We're not traditionalists. We're Roman Catholics, sure. We're Roman Catholics, and we're loyal Roman Catholics, and we still recognize the Pope. It's very important, it's imperative. We do recognize the Pope, but we feel he has fallen into error.
Lefebvre heads the Society of St. Pius X. The society acquired St. Mary's in 1978. Parish members strongly back the Archbishop's values.
I support him 100%. I don't think it makes any difference. I believe that something that was right for 1988 years isn't wrong on June 30th, 1988.
Well, I certainly disagree with the lax attitude towards birth control and sex as it's taught in some of the Catholic schools, I understand, and certainly in many of the secular schools.
The 4 priests at St. Mary's are united in backing Lefebvre and his traditionalist beliefs. I'm Cerise James for CBS News.
Well, do we set a record today? I guess if we've got to live with this stuff, we may as well put it in the history books, huh?
We can always say in the future that we were there, right?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't think I'm going to want to. We tied a record today, Tom. We're going to break a record tomorrow by a long shot, and Thursday we should come close. But along with those record highs, miss the 100-degree temperatures and the humidity, and to those I say, ha! Up here we have a high-pressure system coming down from Canada. That should be a 69 in Chicago. Winds off the lake will keep it quite cool. Very chilly in the northeastern part of the country, whereas a series of low-pressure systems from the central part of the country will move due north. They should keep us out of the rain, and it looks pretty nice for the next few days with maybe some rain coming in by around Saturday. Right now in Mankato, we have mostly cloudy skies, a few rumbles of thunder out there. 65, east winds at 11 to 27, dew point 61, barometric pressure rising rapidly. Forecast for tonight is mostly cloudy, windy, showers and thunderstorms should end in the next 90 minutes at least, with a low of 60. For tomorrow, a high of 78. Skies should turn mostly sunny after some morning clouds. Gusty east winds up to 30 miles per hour. And looking ahead, still kind of breezy as we look further into the forecast. Thursday, 78. Friday, 83. And Saturday should be up near 90 degrees. Maybe a thunderstorm coming up in the afternoon. And for those of you who missed the 100-degree temperatures, I know you're depressed because it's not going to be coming back. We're so sorry.
78 as a high. That sounds awfully funny from what we've gone through, that's for sure.
That's been our low temperature for a couple of times.
That's right. Okay, thank you very much, Tom. In a moment, we'll check in on today's observances in Waseca.
In the good old summertime. Hey, I just can't get enough fresh vegetables. And to make them even more delicious, I always keep a little extra butter on hand. Lend me your ears, and I'll tell you what a little pat of butter does for fresh sweet corn, and how creamery butter makes fresh zucchini gourmet cuisine. You know, green beans would turn blue if they knew that I was out of butter. So head to the store and have your veggies Willard's way with real butter. Now, where'd those Brussels sprouts run off to?
Experience Germany and Minnesota. Visit Heritage Fest in New Ulm July 14th through the 17th. Performers direct from West Germany, along with New Ulm's own Concord singers. Hear Master Yodeler of Bavaria, Richard Brandl. Shake hands with Heritage Fest's German Gnome family and Gertie the Goose. Run in Saturday's 2-mile and 10K race. Enjoy a unique Heritage Fest parade Sunday at 12:30, and much more to see and do all weekend. Thursday, July 14th through Sunday the 17th in New Ulm. This message sponsored by Northland Beverage and RC. If you're experiencing this, you're also doing this. Royal Home Restyling can handle your drafty problems with a vinyl system for replacement windows. These maintenance-free, energy-efficient windows carry a 35-year non-prorated guarantee, and these windows carry the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Built in Minnesota for the Midwest, the Systems 4 window is available only through Royal Home Restyling, formerly Chamberlain Window and Siding. Call for a free estimate, 345-4501, 345-4501.
NASA says it's looking at an early September target date for the launch of the shuttle Discovery. The space agency, for internal purposes, rescheduled the first post-Challenger launch from August 22nd to September 4th, make that. A firm launch schedule is not expected to emerge until well after the orbiter reaches the launch pad. The University of Minnesota Southern Experiment Station in Waseca today celebrated its 75th anniversary in conjunction with annual Crop Day. KEYC Farm Director Julie Miller reports.
The Southern Experiment Station began as a demonstration farm 75 years ago. Ironically, its purpose was to look at drainage systems that could be used on the wet and heavy farming soils of southern Minnesota. Station Superintendent Dick Anderson says the use of drainage systems may have helped with the drought-like conditions in 1988.
Drainage is probably the best thing that one can have in a year such as this, and that may sound incongruous to someone until I point out that early this spring, our soils were full of moisture, and when they're full, they're actually waterlogged. Now, as the young plants begin to grow, those roots absolutely cannot penetrate a waterlogged soil. So it's important that you drain the excess moisture out. That allows these roots to penetrate down in there, and thank heaven those roots have been able to do that, because that's where the only remaining moisture is now, and it's that moisture in the subsoil that is sustaining them through the drought.
Over 1,200 will tour the station, field plots, and barn facilities today. The highlight of the celebration will be tour wagons pulled by horses. Julie Miller, News Circle 12 in Waseca.
Well, Perry Dack, of course, is next with sports. Understanding right now he's monitoring the Twins because it sounds like they might be doing some damage against the California Angels. So he'll have the latest on that for us and other sports in just a moment.
Great.
And I love this apartment.
Well, you know why Susie and Jerry took this apartment, don't you?
Well, sure. Just look at the master bath.
It was the kitchen.
It was the hardwood floors.
The kitchen.
Come on, it's the location.
Susie and I are best friends. It was the kitchen.
It was the natural gas. The gas, heat, and appliances are what really sold us.
Comfortable, affordable, efficient natural gas. Ask for it.
Well, I was going to say that. I was going to.
All feeling blue incurably. But the cure is there.
Valley Fair. We're gonna have a lot of fun, gonna laugh, gonna holler. Being bored all summer has hot around the collar. But now we never wonder what we're gonna do. Thunder can do. Valley Fair's the cure for the summertime blues.
I'll bet you have a place like this near your hometown. Best burgers in the county. You can tell because this is where the Ford truck drivers go. More than half of the trucks in the lot are Ford. That says something for the burgers, and it says a lot for Ford trucks, the best-selling trucks in the world. Tops in the country and #1 in the Northland. Smart place to buy one is at your hometown Northland Ford dealer. Stop by there today. Have you driven a Ford truck lately?
Well, when the game finally ended last night, very late, the Twins fell hard, 16-7 to the California Angels in that first of their 3-game series out on the West Coast. Tonight, the defending world champions returned to Anaheim and looked to veteran right-hander Bert Blyleven to help put things back into perspective. Now, Dan Petrie was going to get the call for the Angels, but they changed their mind and went with John Lazorko. And so far, the contest less than an hour old, and the Twins would score first. In the second inning, Gene Larkin, only his second home run of the year. You see the 386 mark out there, and probably about a 400-foot shot, a solo blast, and the Twins scored another run on a balk and another run by Ken Herbeck just a short while ago, so they're now leading 3-0. Hopefully they can hang on and even this series up at a game apiece. But as we see the scoreboard, 1-0. As I said, the Twins just scored 2 more quick runs, and they now lead it 3-0 in the third inning. Baltimore, it's all over there, and they shut out Baltimore 7-zip. Detroit 6, New York 1. Cleveland loses on the road. Boston Red Sox out on top there 6-1. Chicago nips Kansas City 4-3. In the fourth, it's Texas 2, Seattle 0, and early on in the first inning, no score between Milwaukee and the Oakland A's.
33 RBI.
National League Baseball, Pittsburgh doing it to the Yankees last night, but the Yankees come back, trailing 1-0 in that game tonight. It's Howard Johnson playing a little long ball. Howard's 13th home run of the year, a solo blast, 1-1, and then Darryl Strawberry, and when he catches it, he catches it. This was a 3-run blast, and it made it 4-1 in favor of the Mets, and it wouldn't be 2 innings later in the 7th, Kevin Elster. It goes deep for the Mets, 3 homers on the night, and the Mets go on to win this one by 3. They lead Pittsburgh now by 4.5 in the East. 5-2 is the final. Chicago beat Philadelphia 6-4 this afternoon. Sean Dunston, the game winner, and again, the second day in a row. Cincinnati beats San Diego tonight 4-3. San Francisco all over Atlanta 13-7. Braves can't beat the Giants this year. 3-2 in the 7th. St. Louis leads Montreal, and in the 8th inning, Houston leading the Los Angeles Dodgers 3-2. Once again, rain interrupted play today at the Wimbledon Tennis Championships in England, but several matches were completed, and in a big shocker, Patrick Kuhnen of West Germany knocked off 5th-seeded Jimmy Connors. Connors just simply not on his game, although he would take him to 5 sets before it was through. As we pick up some of the action in that match, Connors dropping the first set 5-7, but then coming back, taking the second and third sets, but then the West German came on very strong, and he went on to win it 5-7, 7-6, 7-6, 6-7, and in that final set, 6-3. Now, 10th seed Tim Mayotte, as we pick up some of the action in his match, was an upset winner today, as he won over 7th-seeded Frenchman Henri Leconte. The scores were 6-4, 7-6, 4-6, and 6-2. Women's winners today included Pam Shriver, Chris Evert, defending champion Martina Navratilova, and of course the action resumes tomorrow. The Los Angeles Clippers made it official today and tabbed the Kansas star Danny Manning as the #1 pick in the NBA draft. And #2 pick went to Indiana, and they took that 7'4" giant Rick Smits. Philadelphia then chose Charles Smith, but that would be traded later. New Jersey went with Chris Morris out of Auburn. Golden State picked Raymond, and then the final 6 in the top 10, final 5 in the top 10 today. LA Clippers went with Hersey Hawkins, then it was Tim Perry, Rex Chapman of Kentucky, chosen by Charlotte. Miami took Ronnie Cycli out of Syracuse, and San Antonio went with Willie Anderson. Mike Tyson used all of 91 seconds last night to dispose of Mike Spinks and to retain his undisputed heavyweight title. Tyson said it would be a quick bout, and he was right. He connected on only 8 punches, but it was enough to send Spinks to the canvas twice, and no question about it, Tyson is the heavyweight champion of the world.
When I came in the ring and I looked at him, I was seeing his face and I saw the fear, and I knew it was going to be a first-round knockout.
Mike was the better man tonight, and my head goes off to him, and that's how it goes.
I wasn't really appreciative of what you guys, quote, the reporters, did to me. Building up to this fight, you tried to embarrass me, you tried to embarrass my family, you tried to disgrace us, and as far as I know, this might be my last fight.
At least he can afford it. 22 million big ones. 5-2. That was New York Mets beating Pittsburgh tonight 5-2, and the Twins now leading 3-0, I guess, in the third innings.
Good. Got to get back.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Perry. Sir.
Some reports of wind damage just southeast of St. Clair, but it looks like it's going to be cooling down and calming down as well.
Yeah, rain all over the place. What, from about 9/10 up to a few inches?
Up to 3 or 3.5 inches in some areas.
Some areas, yes. Some spots 9/100. See you tomorrow night.
think Mrs. Evertson has hired us to find her daughter.
She arranged the adoption of the child even before it was born. When it was all done, she became quite unhinged.
You're my Amanda. You're my baby.
Honey, believe me, your father.
I don't know what I believe.
You stole my baby.
Michael Odkeen.
You are obsessed.
And Jo Beth Williams star in Kids Don't Tell next Tuesday.
It will only end when one of us goes under.
I am going to break him until they bury him.
Will two men destroy all that they cherish?
Have you slept with him?
Yes.
For the sake of vengeance, Peter Strauss, Sam Neill, Veronica Hamill. Can love survive the power of hate? Cain and Abel, Friday.
These are by far the calmest people in a flood I've ever seen.
The Albany movement is no exception.
There's a debate in the United States. Mexico is digging out and fighting back. Red Square in the heart of Moscow.
Dan Rather. He's been there. He'll be there.
This is CBS.
Senator Dave Durenberger on international and local issues next.
Gameklikite abounds in New Ulm July 14th through the 17th at the 14th Annual Heritage Fest. Performers from West Germany and famous accordionist Myron Florin with the Whoopi John Band performs Friday the 15th. See mimes, magicians, jugglers, singers, and dancers in the Winter Garden tent. Enjoy the parade 12:30 Sunday. Admission $5 adults, $2 children 12 to 7, and free for kids 6 and under. Unforgettable. Heritage Fest in New Ulm. Fun for the whole family. This message sponsored by Northland Beverage and RC.
This is the factory on wheels from Richard Seamless Gutter. When you need new rain gutters, this unit will be sent directly to your job site. Seamless gutters are produced right on the job, and because there are no joints, no leaking can occur. Their pre-painted aluminum are virtually maintenance-free. Richard will travel anywhere in southern Minnesota doing old homes, new homes, businesses, and farm buildings. If you need new rain gutters, call Richard Seamless Gutter in Mankato for a free, no-obligation estimate. Quality, service, and experience. More for your money.
Attention accident victims. Your injuries may entitle you to cash, lifetime payments, and many other valuable benefits. Find out free. Call Friends and Friends, 345-4505. 345-4505. They'll help you collect all your cash and benefits in the least possible time. Don't miss out. Call for your free appointment, 345-4505. Most cases can be settled out of court, and Friends and Friends go after every dollar. 345-4505.